Imagine stepping into one of the most remote places on Earth where modern civilization hasn't touched and ancient traditions are still alive. Welcome to the world's most isolated tribes where life is lived far from the conveniences we know. But the big question is, can you survive a visit? With little to no contact with the outside world, these tribes maintain a way of life that's both fascinating and dangerous for outsiders. From their unique customs to their survival skills, interacting with such tribes can be a risky and life-changing experience. In this video, we'll dive into what it would take to survive a visit to these extraordinary, secluded cultures. Today, we will talk about, can you survive a visit to the world's most isolated tribe? So before we get started, make sure to hit that like button, also subscribe to my channel. The world is full of wonders, but not all of them are easily accessible. Some places are so remote and untouched by modern civilization that visiting them could be a life-altering experience. Among the most isolated and uncontacted groups of people on Earth are tribes that have lived for centuries without interacting with the outside world. One of the most famous of these is the Sentinelese tribe, who reside on North Sentinel Island in the Indian Ocean. But what would happen if you tried to visit them? Could you survive? In this video, we're going to explore the challenges, dangers, and risks involved in trying to visit the world's most isolated tribe. Imagine a place so remote that the people who live there have had almost no contact with the outside world for thousands of years. North Sentinel Island, located in the Bay of Bengal, is one of the last places on Earth where human beings still live much as they did in the Stone Age. The Sentinelese, the indigenous people of this island, have been able to maintain their isolation, fiercely protecting their way of life from any outside influence. So why is North Sentinel Island so isolated, and why is it considered one of the most dangerous places on Earth? Let's take a closer look. The Sentinelese tribe, who are they? The Sentinelese are a small tribe estimated to number between 50 and 150 individuals who live on North Sentinel Island. This island is part of the Andaman and Nicobar Islands, which are under Indian jurisdiction. The tribe has lived on this island for thousands of years with very low contact with the outside world. In fact, the government of India has made it illegal to visit North Sentinel Island, both to protect the tribe from diseases that outsiders might bring and to preserve their way of life. The Sentinelese are hunter-gatherers, and their lifestyle remains much like it was in the ancient past. They use tools made from stone, wood, and bone to hunt, fish, and gather food. Their shelter consists of simple huts made from materials found on the island. While they are considered to be a part of the modern human family, their technology, social structures, and traditions remain primitive by today's standards. They don't engage in agriculture, and they live in small groups that are spread out across the island. What makes the Sentinelese unique is their hostility towards outsiders. Over the years, there have been several attempts by explorers, researchers, and government officials to make contact with the tribe, but they have all ended in failure, often with the Sentinelese responding with arrows and spears to chase the intruders away. The tribe is fiercely protective of its isolation, and it is believed that their hostility towards outsiders is a response to the threat they perceive in contact with the outside world. Why is North Sentinel Island so dangerous? One of the key reasons why North Sentinel Island is considered so dangerous is the tribe's refusal to engage with outsiders. The Sentinelese view any outside contact as an invasion and are known to react aggressively. This hostility has led to numerous incidents where people have been attacked with bows and arrows or driven away by the tribe's actions. In fact, the Indian government has made it clear that no one is allowed to visit the island, and they have enforced strict measures to keep outsiders away. The island is surrounded by treacherous waters, making it extremely difficult to approach. The surrounding reefs and strong currents make it nearly impossible for boats to safely navigate the area. In addition to the natural obstacles, the tribe's aggressive behavior toward outsiders has ensured that anyone who attempts to land on the island faces immediate danger. There have been numerous attempts by outsiders to contact the Sentinelese, but all have been met with resistance. One of the most famous of these was a 2006 attempt by two Indian fishermen who ventured too close to the island. Their boat was wrecked in the shallows, and they were killed by the Sentinelese. In the 1970s, an Indian anthropologist attempted to establish peaceful contact with the tribe by offering gifts, such as coconuts and other food items, from a boat. However, the tribe responded with arrows and other weapons, making it clear that they did not want any form of interaction. The most recent attempt at contact was in 2018, when an American missionary named John Allen Chow illegally traveled to North Sentinel Island. Chow, who was reportedly motivated by religious beliefs, tried to preach to the tribe and convert them to Christianity. His visit ended tragically when he was killed by the Sentinelese. The Indian government responded by strengthening the laws around the island and reinforcing its isolationist policies. Can you survive a visit to the Sentinelese tribe? Now let's consider the hypothetical question, can you survive a visit to the Sentinelese tribe? In short, the answer is no. Even if you were to somehow manage to land on the island, the chances of survival are extremely slim, especially if you are unprepared for the hostile environment. First and foremost, the tribe's aggressive behavior would pose a serious threat to your safety. The Sentinelese have proven time and again that they will attack anyone who approaches their island. Their weapons are primitive, but they are highly effective in defending your territory. The last thing you want to do is approach them without understanding the dangers involved. Even if you did manage to avoid being attacked by the tribe, there are numerous other challenges to contend with. North Sentinel Island is a remote, untamed wilderness with no modern infrastructure or resources. The island's dense forest and rugged terrain would make it extremely difficult to navigate, especially without proper gear and experience. There are no hotels, no roads, and no basic amenities on the island. You would be completely reliant on your survival skills and resources. The environment itself is another factor to consider. The island is tropical and humid, which could lead to dehydration and heat stroke if you're not prepared. Additionally, there are no reliable food sources for an outsider, and the Sentinelese would likely not welcome you to share in their resources. This means that any attempt to survive would likely require you to bring your own food, water, and equipment. Moreover, there is a serious risk of contracting diseases. The Sentinelese are not immune to modern illnesses that outsiders may carry. Diseases like the flu, measles, and tuberculosis could devastate their population if introduced. Conversely, uncontacted tribe has no immunity to diseases that may be present in the outside world. Any visitor could inadvertently introduce harmful pathogens to the tribe, which could have catastrophic effects on their health. What happens if you break the law and visit the island? In addition to the dangers posed by the tribe, visiting North Sentinel Island is also illegal. Indian law strictly prohibits any attempts to make contact with the Sentinelese. Violating this law can result in heavy fines and imprisonment. In fact, the Indian government enforces a 3-mile exclusion zone around the island to prevent outsiders from getting too close. The legal consequences for attempting to visit the island are significant. In addition to facing imprisonment in India, you would be putting your own life at risk by violating the safety restrictions. More importantly, there's a moral responsibility to respect the tribe's wishes and their right to remain isolated. Why should we respect the Sentinelese's isolation? While it may be tempting to view the Sentinelese as a curiosity or a relic of the past, it's essential to remember that they are a living, breathing people with a right to live their lives as they see fit. The Indian government's policies regarding North Sentinel Island are in place to protect the tribe from diseases, exploitation, and the negative impacts of outside contact. In recent years, anthropologists, environmentalists, and human rights activists have emphasized the importance of respecting the Sentinelese's autonomy. These people have lived for thousands of years without the influence of modern society, and it is vital to preserve their way of life. The tribe has made it abundantly clear that they do not want to be contacted, and this decision should be respected by the outside world. What do you think of our video? Let me know in the comments section below. Before you go, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.